Alrighty, so here we are, once again, ya boy, Mythic weapon review time. Today we're taking a look at the assault rifle. It's probably my favorite weapon. I used a friend of mine's account named Deathgrip to actually get this footage and, be able to use this weapon, so huge shout out to Deathgrip. I'm going to go ahead and showcase you guys two quick clips before we get into the actual video. One clip is going to showcase some of the explosive rounds that come with this weapon, which are pretty insane, and the next is going to be a pretty standard smasher test, so enjoy those clips, enjoy the video, subscribe if you're new, I love you guys, and enjoy my review of the Storm King assault rifle. Alrighty boys, welcome back once again to another video. How you guys doing? Guys, today we are going to be doing a weapon review on the Storm King's Scourge, or Scourge, something along those lines. It's basically the Mythic assault rifle. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool weapon. I like it a lot. That's what we're going to be reviewing in today's video. The past few videos I've done have been the pistol and the sword. Now we're doing the assault rifle because I was lucky enough to use a friend of mine named Deathgrip. I was able to use his account to actually use this weapon for myself and make a review on it, so definitely do appreciate that, Deathgrip. For those of you guys that are curious, you can earn this weapon right here via the Mythic Storm King fight. If you guys are curious how to do that or how to make it easier, make sure to head on over to my videos that I have on it. I have my first ever completion, as well as a complete guide with weapons and loadouts and strategies and all that kind of stuff, if you are curious on how to exactly beat them and, well, how to earn these weapons for yourself. But in today's video, we are talking about the Storm King Scourge. I'm just going to call it the Scourge. Yeah, the Storm King Scourge. It's the assault rifle again. We're talking about the assault rifle. We're talking about it today. So, the Storm King Scourge is probably my favorite weapon out of all of the mythics that have come out recently. I mean, you have the rocket launcher, which is really good for the Storm King fight itself. You got the hammer, which is extremely unique. You got the sword, which you can use for outside of the Storm King fight and against the horns inside the Storm King fight. You got the pistol, which is, an aimbot pistol. And then you got the assault rifle, a very well-rounded and extremely unique assault rifle that can be used outside the Storm King fight, and it's absolutely amazing. So the first thing that we have to do here is we have to go over the unique perk whenever it comes to this weapon, because that is the most important thing to take a look at, and this unique perk on this weapon is pretty ridiculous. So what it says is that hitting an enemy applies a charge. Building up to 5 charges or switching targets detonates the charges, and this will deal 100% of the weapon damage to the target and nearby enemies, and each charge will increase the radius up to a maximum of 0.75 tiles. Basically what this means is that you can, shoot your weapon at an enemy and cause these little charges, or what I like to call explosive rounds. For every 5 shots that you have, a little mini explosion goes off. And it's not like those explosions that are like rocket launchers, right? These are kind of like little purple poofs that deal damage in an area, and they're really, really nice. You can get them every single 5 times that you hit an enemy, or you can do what I like to do and hold down the trigger and go from left to right and just decimate anything in your path. Basically what you can do is just hit as many enemies as possible while holding down the left trigger, and this is going to trigger tons of different explosions and clear out waves of enemies, and you're going to see that in the gameplay in the background. You'll see this with some encampments and whatnot, and it's very, very useful for clearing out big groups of enemies. I saw a post on Reddit of somebody talking about how the Storm King Scourge needs to have a buff, and he was showcasing it against a Mercury LMG, kind of showing how long it takes to kill a single smasher, and I disagree. I don't think the Scourge needs a buff at all. It is way stronger than it needs to be in its current state, as just using it against a single target the entire time is pretty much the wrong way to take advantage of this weapon. It's not only for that single target, and that's what makes it stand out from weapons like the Mercury LMG. You can get your charges on a single target, or you can spread them across multiple enemies and clear out huge waves by taking advantage of the second part of the actual perk. Now, don't get me wrong, you can clear out single targets if you want. You guys saw that smasher test, and I'll go ahead and put up a little bit of gameplay right here and showcase me just soloing this mini boss in a 140 mission, and it wasn't a problem whatsoever for me to kill him just by myself. I only had 2 other teammates. So the weapon will find its use against single targets, but using it strictly just for single target damage isn't getting the most out of this weapon. Now, we've definitely talked about the unique perk that comes with this weapon for quite a while now. Let's go and talk about the perks. So the perks that you guys want to go with on this weapon is practically any other Storm King weapon at this point. You want to go with crit rating, double crit damage, and a damage, and I go with energy as my element because I want to be able to use it on as many different enemies as possible. It's a pretty generic assault rifle build, but crit in this game is the best stat. If you want the most amount of damage, that is what is going to help you out and allow you to do it, you know, the most consistently. So that's pretty much the perk rolls you want to go with this. If we go ahead and take a look at some of the stats, and I stole the screenshot from Tic Tac, I forgot to take one whenever I was on Death Grip's account. You know, this weapon has really good damage, really good headshot damage. It's got your average crit hit chance and damage. It's got a pretty good fire rate and an absolutely insane amount of range. This is the amount of range that the Bundle Bus and the Wraith have, and I'm going to compare it to the Wraith here. Basically, it's like a Wraith, but it doesn't miss all of its shots. Like, this thing is dead on accurate. It is like a laser beam whenever you are using this thing from far away. If you guys look at the gameplay in the background, you may notice me sniping some enemies with this weapon. It's pretty ridiculous. And if you look towards the end, it has the heat capacity and generation and stuff like that. None of these weapons do have a magazine. They are heat based, and that allows us to do some really cool stuff with the loadouts. And speaking of the loadout, this is the loadout that I am using. So I'm using Tactical Assault Sledgehammer, and normally I don't use him when I'm using a totally rockin' out build, but I found that this weapon is so good at clearing groups of enemies that I was able to take, you know, really good use of the, you know, Breakbeat Wildcat perk in the support team rather than the commander. The commander was just overkill at that point. So I use Breakbeat and support with sub wafers as well, so I can get totally rockin' out. Mad Tidings, startup, and assault damage. And Mad Tidings and startup are going to be really good for getting your stacks for, you know, more and more damage. You don't have to reload. You're going to have tons of stacks of damage for pretty much any time that you're going to need it, and it's going to make the weapon pretty overkill in the damage department. So that's pretty much my build that I used with this weapon, and you know why I was using it and stuff. But you know, end all be all whenever it does come to this assault rifle, you know, you got this assault rifle that doesn't have a magazine and allows, you know, the stacks of the heroes to kind of take precedent whenever it comes to giving this weapon extra damage. You know, it does have an okay, you know, it has your average crit chance, so you're able to use totally rocking out, boost that up, you're good to go. Use Sledgehammer so you can get your crit damage in there, and then after that, you know, you start taking a really good look at the perk, and you notice that, well, if I shoot big beefy enemies, every 5 shots I'm going to get a huge damage buff against them, and that's also going to affect any enemies that are around them. Or if I want to hip fire this weapon and fire into a crowd of husks, I'll be able to clear them out very easily with tons of little bursts of damage going on around them, so that I can clear out crowds with my explosive rounds and make this weapon into an AoE and a single target assault rifle at the same time, which, well, I don't really know of any other assault rifle that can do that. Mix that alongside the absolutely insane design of this weapon and you know, just how it looks really, and you're good to go. You know, the thing uses energy cells. Energy cells aren't too, you know, bad to craft nowadays. Now they took bacon out of the recipe and everything like that, man. I mean, the Storm King Scourge, in my opinion, and I am a huge assault rifle nerd, but it is my favorite weapon. I feel like just from a functionality standpoint and, you know, your general missions, this is probably going to be one of your best options. I mean, you look at the stats, you got some crazy headshot damage, you got some crazy, you know, really good fire rate, and then you look at the range mixed with the accuracy of this weapon, and you are just going to be able to snipe husks. I mean, this is an assault rifle that is good from every single range. I mean, the Wraith is going to fall off at, you know, short range, and it's going to be good from medium to long, but even at long, it's still going to miss some of its shots. You know, you got weapons like the Hemlock. They're okay at medium range, and you know, they're really good at short range. And Spectres, who are really good at short range. But then you take a look at the Storm King Scourge. You take a look at, you know, the bloom that it has, the fire rate that it has, and then you take a look at the unique perk that it has, and then mix that with the range combined with the, you know, no bloom that's going on. You got yourself an assault rifle that is good for every single scenario ever. Single target damage, check. Multi-target damage, check. Long range, check. Medium range, check. Short range, check. It is an absolutely fantastic assault rifle, by far my favorite mythic weapon so far, and that is not only because it is an assault rifle. I've definitely enjoyed my time with the pistol and the sword, but I'm still trying to get my hands on that rocket launcher and that hammer, so I might, use DeathGrip's account for, hammer review, and then, see if I can get in touch with somebody to get you guys a rocket launcher video. I haven't personally used those weapons, but just from the looks of them, they're not really as interesting as any of the ones that I've done thus far. The rocket launcher looks really cool, and the hammer's really unique, but in terms of performance, I think the assault rifle's got them pretty beat in my opinion. I don't know, it's just the best all-around assault rifle in the entire game. I don't think anything can touch it, and I'm not saying that just because it's mythic. It's got so much going for it. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I absolutely had a blast using this weapon, and I cannot wait to actually unlock it for myself. Let me know if you guys have this weapon already, and let me know your opinions. Like I did mention, there was a Reddit post where somebody was asking for this weapon to get buffed. I think that's pretty ridiculous, as this weapon is doing just fine the way that it is, but I want to hear from you guys that maybe already have it, or from those of you guys that have been observing some gameplay of it, what you guys think. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you did like it, dislike if you did not, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.